You realise you're beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to Buxton.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week. Jenny?
And his very first guest is popular parrot
I'm sorry, Kath, you're going to have to leave.
At 11:30, it's a double bill for popular transatlantic comedy That Nun.
You're letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded
10
me.
seconds,
I thought we were
everybody!
all part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Going in
high-mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
You'll have me fired too.
3.
Don't tempt me.
Meghan and all the team at the National.
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
So how do you feel about the sanctions?
I actually think that with Advance in charge we'll be fine. Of course the rest of the world will want us to fail, or it will be their billionaires next. But I trust Julia and Peter.
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognise these sanctions. And we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you. Thank you.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out.
Hi there, I was wondering if you could spend a moment to give us your thoughts on the government.
Honestly, I think they're doing a great job. I know the assets and world checks have made the difference for us for the cost of the little one. And people seem, happier in the main. I always said things would get better with a woman in charge.
Over to you, fellas. Global mega corporation Remington's Fist today announced that trials have successfully completed on their groundbreaking male contraceptive product, Responsibility.
The drug has been passed by the government for general release, but the small print warns that, in rare cases, side effects can include blurred vision, enlarged genitalia, and increased risk of stroke. No double entendre intended.
But what do you, the public, think of Sophia Remington's latest venture? Patrick?
What are your thoughts on the new male contraceptive pill?
We're doing that now, aren't they? I can't see what's wrong with a washable lamb bladder. It was fine for me and Harold. All 17 of my kids use the same method to this day. And my firstborn even uses the same bladder. Still at my age, who cares?
Okay, all right, yeah.
The delicate sound of thunder. A frightening start for commuters this morning, who were confronted by a somewhat sinister sight as they left their trains.
Many travellers reported feeling intimidated by the silent figures who stood motionless outside every major station in the capital. Radical extremist group Disrupt, who organised the show of strength, refused to comment on the meaning of the strange protest.
Or to apologise to this presenter for making him drop his morning bagel in surprise.
But how do we feel about these somewhat radical extremists and their upsetting methods? Robin found out.
Can I ask your opinions on Disrupt?
Are those the guys in black with the orange fist thing? That's right. Can I be honest?
Of course. This is journalism. Of course.
They scare me a bit.
Feast or famine. Resourceful doctors David Wong and Ingrid Sporsborg and Morgansford today announced their first successful harvest in Dante's taint. Although they can currently only grow a few fungal strains, the scientists seem to be staying positive, as the following picture shows.
The undauntable scientists chose to try and survive in the cave system while the complex rescue operation inches forward up here on dry land.
Let's hope they like stroganoff.
But with Advance planning to spend an eye-watering amount of public money on the rescue craft, we asked Patrick Bannon to find out what we should all be thinking about the accelerating costs.
What are your thoughts on the costs of the rescue?
Oh my God, Patrick Bannon, wash your mouth out with soap. You can't put a value on human life. You have to spend whatever it takes because one day you might be trapped in an underwater cave system and you would want exactly the same.
I don't think so, actually, because for legal reasons, we're actually not allowed within 31 yards of the coastline.
I am not a number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team membership cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks and, rightfully, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards.
I don't really join things as a rule. As Mother always said, membership is mostly for unmentionables, Malcolm.
And finally tonight, back of the net, popular sports personality Johnny Hamsleeves and his fiancée Tiffany Lamore were spotted out today doing a little shopping for what many are already calling the greatest wedding ever.
We can only assume that Tiffany's latest show, My Teenage Secretions, has sold better than expected, as by the looks of things, the whole affair's about to become more expensive than Lil C's shoe collection.
I don't know who that is.
But what should your opinion be of this extravagant display of wealth?
Disgusting. Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the culture chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a familiar team of thespians set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News. Tonight, thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
Tonight, we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation. For Advance, Peter Clement is at his home in Lanfordshire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
Oh, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Well, joining us is Ivan Vodovich, Foreign Minister of Kyrgyzstan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf, are like strongest guard of labour camp who wake up inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay. Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Advance's defiant stance?
Advance is like man who thinks he has a big career in movies land, when actually he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at me and holding tiny penis in hand.
He's clearly not from Svenland, and we have like some of the cleanest mental health facilities in the continent.
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
It's just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames here.
Minister?
It's just Björk,
Minister? Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of Advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the prize.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole vote thing there, but it's actually the Festival of Fureland here at the moment, where we honour the old generations. So we all had to look our grandparents' Galinia whilst the vote was happening, and that's like a really, really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like sissy man. You had this expression, sissy man. It's like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah.
Oh, stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
Peter, you're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. We'll shut the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. You can join others on my wall.
Actually, in Finland, we have like serious animal welfare legislation. And like my friend Helga, she got arrested for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her fuel thing. I mean, in English, jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jam Sandwich. You know that cracker too. I wonder what became of her.
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
It's human interest, Jeremy. The real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching Jam, give us a call. If you're watching Jam, yeah. Let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Crash, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first, eh?
You're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming veins. Soon you have tiny penis and beard full of secrets.
In Finland, we don't really go in for all that restrictive monogamy stuff here. We're kind of flawed, actually.
Okay, well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and
possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Beard?
Well, from here, yeah, you all look a bit stupid really arguing about outdated devices concepts like money. In Finland, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like a really hard to sanction, actually.
Thank you, Minister Votovic.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant mutant hairy bear. But really, he just standing in field
holding his tiny penis. Yes, thank you, Minister. And finally, Prime Minister Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring words there.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We'll be back.
After these messages.
We'll be back.
1 minute back.
Hey, Peter, I over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Yeah, sure, front or back.
That's what I hope you're asking Megan Wolf for me.
She's out of your league, mate.
Thank you for the correction.
Well, you have to be more careful.
It's all part of his long-term plan to get fired live on the news at 6 in front of the nation.
Can someone warn him it's going a little too well?
This is important. New government censorship should show up in blue. Same as regular censoring. Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
Catch the egg, name that fish, keep the bucket! Wait, is that? Yes! It's the Boys Oh, you know what?
Are you still meant to bow to foreign royalty?
What?
Should I just like her?
Honey, have they given you the Crown Prince report?
What?
Megan?
This is Jeremy, and he'll be interviewing you.
Yo, thanks for having me on the show, man.
It's quite all right.
Yo, just a quick point. You're not going to ask me about the chin party.
Live in 10 seconds.
He put that get up on himself.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honour to be here on this show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
You know, I try not to, the past is the past and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. And she died right there in my arms, man. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just it's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man, very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice? Mr. Cheese Slice?
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of a...
Or maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it?
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel elation from your participation. Still 2 leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes, I don't need your freaky team. And I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams. So don't make a us. When you find you're one of us, yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me, but I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise, of the crest of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. So this is for the snub ones, the pushed and the shoved ones, the folks that feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones. Ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley. The ones who now finding out their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise, of the crest of the waves, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets, set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, the squilling bed getters, and burn them on the pyres of advances fucking letters. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team, and advances little dances aren't as harmless as it seems, cause they're stale and corrupt. Then your anger erupt, then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your notes.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this is absolutely ridiculous.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
A bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR. No, last ad break.
This is just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you
stop
to leave
it. My father's going to hear about this.
I understand. This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Protects her from irresistible shine. Only glycogen for hair that looks and feels healthier. Acid Gastrique nourishes from root to tip for 8 times the strength of other brands. 6 out of 10 shampoo is recommended.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, shut up, stop it.
Look at him.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Megan, Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Radin.
What?
Philippa, please.
We're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a lower order demon.
Yes, it is awfully exciting, isn't it?
Right, okay then. We're going live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1.
Acid Gastrique. Because you have to.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. And no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Rayton, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs are akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right,
What did
yeah.
you say?
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
After the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It's like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells! Demon! Back to the hells!
Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show?
Good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred path!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Goodness, you do this every night.
Absolutely. It's a metaphor. Absolutely.
For what?
It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning of my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable. Yes.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt, you'll have taken our jobs.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night. Have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey,
Let's get reset.
you must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR. Drop in a new tape. Last ad break.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, shut up, stop it.
Look at him.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Megan, Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Raiden.
What?
Philippa, please.
You're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a lower order demon.
Yes, it is awfully exciting, isn't it?
Right, okay then. We're going live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1.
Cheers.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. And no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Raiden, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It like really get into the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells! Demon, back to the hells!
Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show?
Oh, good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred pass!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which, frankly, would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Goodness, and you do this every night?
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning of my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt you'll have taken our jobs.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
This territory is changing fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, our country's uncomfortable, but that won't stop us.
exclusively due to the current heat wave. When they get too hot, the trip switch will blow, as you've seen. Once things have cooled down and the trip switch is back to normal, you can get the power back on. You should keep the fan pointed at the correct valve by aiming it up and down. The middle gauge when you're facing the screens will warn you, so keep an eye on it. Also, maintenance tells me that the fan power switch occasionally turns off for no good reason, so keep an ear open for that too. I'm sure you've already worked all this out though, Alex. You're a rising star of this network and we're all very proud
You've got someone to hose down the sun, have you?
Yes, they've just strapped on their wax wings.
Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
You know, I genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today. She's not even here.
Yes, but he is. Our gun-toting handler.
Oh, Andy.
I don't know what the fuck his name is, do I?
He's here to keep us safe from people like Disrupt.
More like keep us in line. I hate guns. Middle bullies.
10 seconds, everybody.
So, we've got any actual real news tonight?
Well, the world's on fire. That good enough for you? Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week. In a statement from team headquarters a short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
The World Council should make no mistake. This blockade and the illegal sanctions it seeks to enforce are an act of war and will be treated as such. Any incursion, however slight, into our territory will be met with swift and deadly force. You have been warned.
Without a hitch, with the celebrity wedding of the year off the cards, rumours have been flying as to the why. Ever since they broke off their engagement, the separation of celebrity lovebirds Johnny Hansleaves and Tiffany L'Amour has been the subject of fierce speculation in the tabloids. But earlier today, Johnny finally spoke out. Johnny has said he's received an outpouring of support after coming out as gay at a press conference earlier today. In a heartfelt statement, he said that despite the fear of reprisals, it was time he finally shared his truth in the hope that gay young people would see that there's no shame in being a footballer. In it to win it, exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what Team HQ are describing as unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Burning rubber. Sales of condoms have plummeted this month as sales of responsibility soar. Since becoming widely available earlier this year, the male contraceptive pill has become commonplace in the lives of many heterosexual couples, and as a result, many are turning their backs on more traditional prophylactics. Global Health Watchdog has revealed that it's men who are increasingly saying no to the Love Club. The findings have prompted concerns about rises in sexually transmitted infections and a surge of insufferable conversations during one-night stands. Oh, Captain, my Captain! Progress today for the stranded scientists of Dante's Taint, as the captain leading their rescue mission is announced. The trapped team have survived in the cave system for many months now, but hope is on the horizon as the expedition leader is announced by the Board of Underground Theoretics. A respected professional with decades of experience, training and knowledge, Captain Audrey Aerospace is said to be the only real choice to successfully save the troubled scientific excursion, but an unfortunate one to be sat next to at a dinner party or social occasion. Burning down the house? The capital was put on high alert last night after disrupt terrorists set an emblematic fire in the heart of Parliament Park. Violent conflict broke out at the demonstration after a mob of so-called protesters from the radical group launched an unprovoked attack on community cohesion officers in attendance. With the methods of this increasingly violent rabble becoming ever more extreme, many are asking if the military should intervene. Colonel Phineas Mad Badger Fortingley Davis of the 1st Mounted Bastards Brigade said his men were, and I quote, oiled up and ready for action. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship, and her proud owner. That's all up on tonight's National Nightly News.
pesky power behind the fan.
But first tonight, our team of correspondents has been dispatched to every corner to see how the people of this great nation of ours are coping with this unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to Megan Wolf in Shining-on-Sea to see what the scientific community has to say. Megan, how's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm here with Dr. Anna Burns of the University of Princeford. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
Oh, yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
And you're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's really no cause for any concern here. I've actually left my car running.
So tell us about this experiment.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon we'll be getting a high-tech readout of the results.
Blimey, that sounds very fancy.
I should just say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Remington's Fist. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future, and may I just say, complimentary personal anecdote. Oh, here we go. And, as expected, everything is absolutely fucked. Hang on. This can't be right.
Right, but obviously you said a second ago that everything is absolutely fine, so...
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why, God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful results, I think.
Yeah? We need to evolve gills within 40 years.
You look thirsty.
Here it just says, shit.
Look at you. This is meant to be a celebration. Can't go around looking like that.
Shit.
There you go, much better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing all of this.
Everyone, we don't have long. Time is running out.
It's running out. Absolutely right. That is all we have time for.
Abandon hope and return to the forest.
Enjoy that. I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the climate.
The sea will reclaim us all.
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof, if proof be need be. But everything is just fine. I'm Megan Wolf, here with science. Back to you.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news. Next, let's over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this week's team membership lottery. Robin?
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm here in Scritchford with Gary Failsafe, a janitor at the local school, and Amelia Jackhammer, an aspiring poet. Both of you were drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel?
Filled with fervent euphoria.
Yeah, good, yeah.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow, that sounds so convenient. But we're all dying to know, what have you won?
That's right, Robin. I've won dinner with Julia Salisbury at one of the capital's top restaurants.
Ooh, swanky.
And I've been invited to Peter Clement's house to help him dredge the gutter in.
That's absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon.
I've written a poem about it.
So, can you tell me about the moment when you first heard the news?
Well, I was battling against a particularly difficult floater, probably one of the sixth formers, when the headmaster came and found me.
I was involved in a similarly brutal conflict with a particularly arduous stanza.
So you were both polishing turds?
No, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh! How unexpected.
I don't polish turds. I write poetry.
Potato, potato. So, Gary...
Do you think Peter Clement's going to let me keep the contents of his downpipe?
There's no harm in asking, I suppose.
Would you like to hear one?
No, thank you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no, the boss said I had to sign up to keep coming into school.
Very sensible. It's important to know who we're trusting around our children.
Oh, I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one.
No!
Or an anthology of haikus on the death of innocence.
I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Really? I thought you might say that.
Oh. Are you all right?
Yes, it's coming. It's inspiration and it's delicious.
Right you are.
Right you are. Today on the show there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
Yeah, this big one's my favourite. See how it's fibrous, really lovely texture.
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance to win?
If it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at old Blue Eyes here.
The national news lost its way when it covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair they are. And finally in this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which has recently voted the smelliest town in the country. And I have to say that, you know, in this, the smell really is. I mean, it's something else. Barry Lardons, mate, you've lived here your whole life. How'd you put up with the stink?
Well, we're just all very proud of our achievement, to be honest with you. You can tell that, look at him, proud as punch. Do you know what it's like, son, being the second smelliest town? No, I don't. Living in the shadow of Arseminster. Those smug fucks. But who's laughing now, eh?
What, not me, that's for sure. So what happened, mate?
Right, the good people from Remington's Fist came in and saved the day with their factory.
You're talking, of course, about the newly built Flard factory.
Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here.
Does the stink not affect your life in every way, Barry? I mean, perhaps if you're filling in a tax return or completing the physical act of love.
It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed.
So, what's the sickness?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms. Now, folk are saying something about the production line and how they dump carcasses directly into the water main, but I think it's probably the few valves on the high street.
On the high street? Should I see a doctor? What are the symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a lot of inhibition.
Fuck off, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, this stinking old tramp?
Next recording is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
I thought we had problems with sung of my life. Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon. He's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous. Why didn't you tell me? I should take my shirt off. You know what? I'll even let you touch me if you want.
That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
Love the Bannon. Feel the Bannon. Oh, man.
And the ennui. All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
No, Dottie? Was that you? Why are you made out of elbows? You know I don't eat opinions.
Don't worry, folks. Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right, that's all here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink. I'm Barry Lardons. Back to you, Jeremy.
Right. Thanks, Barry. With a naval blockade being set up around our coastline as we speak, when we come back, I'll be talking to 3 members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back after these messages.
This next section features a potentially controversial guest, and Barnes may request some censorship if he goes too off topic. You've done a great job so far keeping everyone happy, so let's keep up the good work.
And I can't do this anymore.
You say this every Friday.
I've done something.
What do you mean? Jeremy?
My mic is still.
like a real tank.
Oh, gee, Janet, what a time to be alive. Surely games can't get any better than this. And that sound.
It's like a digital symphony, Brad. Are they playing more than one note at the same time?
Up to 4, Janet. 4 notes at the same time. That's enough for a chord.
But, Sophia, surely a home computer entertainment system needs games. Damn straight. And with the RS Rainbow, there's an incredible 3 of them.
That's what I'm talking about? Cat football? We should be doing an interview with the War Minister, or a report from Grentham Downs. Even the weather will be more fucking relevant than this.
Jeremy, please, just breathe. It's just something light to keep people's minds off things.
Exactly, which is wrong. People's minds should be very much on things. Christ, it's so fucking hot!
Please take your seats as quickly as you can.
I can't do this anymore, Jenny. I've had enough. That's it. This is just
10 seconds! Get over yourself, Jeremy. Why don't you stop feeling sorry for yourself for 5? 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, your host, Jeremy Donaldson. Later, we'll be talking to the captain of the Territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over 9 months. Isn't that right, Miss Piercy?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Tell us, what brought all this on?
Well, it's all a bit of a blur, Jeremy, to be totally frank with you. So I was watching your show and I remember seeing the news about the election, and it hasn't stopped since.
Fascinating stuff. Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological foreboil is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace, we're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to leave children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting. I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him. How do you cope with that, Mr. Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore pornography.
Is that?
Not according to my therapist.
Well, in that case, let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard.
Don't forget about that pesky power button on the fan.
The phones. It's really affected my confidence.
Well, I find it really fucking irritating.
Do people tend to believe your story?
Fuck no.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much support I've received.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me, and I was hoping that the fame would win her back.
We've started a group for people with ailments deemed broadly comical by society. It's called Take Us Seriously.
That's right. And we bloody well mean it.
And who's joined so far?
A bunch of fucking losers.
It's just us so far.
And how much success have you had?
Well, we've seen some real positive changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been a runaway success.
Shit all. Not a single person come to our fun run, and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Come down, Mr. Donaldson, that's absolute rubbish.
What it'd be like to have a pair of tits.
Could you? I'm sorry, it's very hot. What was I thinking?
That you're a team fuck puppet?
No.
Or a sellout cunt?
Apologies. Just reminded that he can't help it. And hey, if this isn't live television, then what is it?
Fuckfest of propaganda masquerading as journalism.
Right, Frankie, Rose, tell us, how can the viewers get involved with your cause?
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capital Park next weekend. It's called the No Smiles 13 Miles.
No, it's called the No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show?
That it was the team pulling Jeremy Donaldson's strings.
No! I didn't say. Wow, we may have to end that there, unfortunately. What a harmless bit of fun.
Steady on! This is exactly what I'm talking about. We demand respect.
Yes, well, later, I'll be talking to Professor Pumpkin. A ginger tabby with a world-class pair of penalty paws. Is that really necessary?
No, it isn't. Let go. Not you.
Unhand him at once.
Enough! That's enough! Enough!
What are you doing?
trying not to piss myself.
Alex, cut.
Don't you dare!
Alex, cut.
Don't you fucking dare cut to the ads before I tell you to. Now, you in the broadcast centre. Bozeman's little scapegoat. You listen to me. You cut to the ads before I tell you to, and I will kill every single person in this studio. I am thinking about what I'm doing. I've been thinking about it for a long time. We all should be. Christ, it's so fucking hot in here. Do you remember when we used to do the real news? Before it was all lottery winners and bloody cat football? We are on the brink of a siege, the likes of which the world hasn't seen in hundreds of years. The enemy is at the gates, and I'm stuck here talking to these three fucking idiots.
Oh my God, stop.
You three, get the fuck out of my studio. Go on, now, go, before I change my mind. Jenny, lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Yes, Jeremy.
Now. Good. Yes. Now. Good. Right. Yes. You in the broadcast centre. Alex, you listen to me. You pay attention. Now, I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to play in the commercial, but today is going to be a little bit different. Look to your right. Yes, really. Look to your right. There is a VHS tape, and I want you to load it into one of the machines, and when I say so, and not before, you play it. You've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. Now, all cameras.
Alex, I assume you won't be playing that tape. This station does not negotiate with terrorists. I hope I've made myself clear. You seem to know what to do.
Every single thing that comes out of this studio is either one-sided or, by now, we're going to show the other side for it. For a bit of fucking balance. Like the good old days. Alex, play the fucking tape. I don't want to hurt any of you. If I see anything I don't like, I will not hesitate to start.
You're going to get me in trouble with that. Let's hope you made the right call.
Reset the system for the third segment. I imagine the ratings are going to be through the roof.
We are the resistance. We are disrupt, and we're going to tell you the truth. Advance aided by the mass media are lying to you. The elderly are not a building. The rich are not all crazy. And the team membership card is an ID card, no matter how tempting the prices are. But who am I to tell you this? A voice from the shadows trying to tell you that everything you know is wrong. Or did you trust a man too scared to show his own face?
Don't switch on. Please, don't switch off. My name is Alan James, and I think that certain rights are worth fighting for. The right to keep the rewards of our own hard work. The right to be kept alive in our dotage. And the right to question our government without worrying what our children will report to their fellow go-getters. I love this country. It may be what I am, and I'll fight for it. In fact, I'll die for it, if I have to. But I can't do it alone. Disrupt a growing movement.
How long?
But we need your help.
Sure, please.
How long?
Look for
17
us.
seconds.
Find us.
And the studio doors are all
Also
still
know in
locked?
your heart that there is something
Yes.
deeply wrong in this country.
So
Join
what now?
us. Resist.
I don't know.
Disrupt.
This wasn't what I planned. I mean, some of it was. I had a speech, look. But this was unexpected.
So what now, Jeremy?
It was supposed to be your day off.
Please, don't do any more stupid things today.
How long?
You're already live.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Joining me, unexpectedly, for what I very much imagine will be my last broadcast, are two new guests. Jenny works here at the National Nightly News and is someone I consider, well, a friend. And next to her is, what's your name?
Andy.
Andy's a policeman. Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion official.
Officer.
Sorry?
It's community cohesion officer, CCO.
And how's that feel, Andy? Being rebranded?
It's good. It's not about confrontation anymore. You know, the Force had its fair share of problems. The team doesn't have as many.
But it still has some.
I couldn't say.
Couldn't or wouldn't?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Christ, you're fucking useless, aren't you? We'll come back to you later. Jenny?
I don't want to be on the news, Jeremy.
That's perfectly understandable. Who'd want to do this? Jenny, why did you join the National Nightly News team?
I always wanted to work in news.
Yes, but why specifically this programme? The National Nightly News.
It was the news everyone trusted.
Was?
Is. Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint?
Is there something else you'd rather discuss?
There's a great big Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring.
What do you mean?
I saw your face when that hood came down. You didn't know, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger.
Like I said, you didn't know.
No, I didn't know. The people I met were with. He wasn't there. I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry. But seriously. Alan. Fucking James. You're flushing your life down the toilet for. God, I love you, Jeremy, but.
He's a good speaker. He's popular in the country.
That right?
Look, forget Alan James. There is still something deeply wrong. And you know it, Jenny. And you know it, Andy. And you at home, you know it too. Meanwhile, I'm interviewing a guest who stinks of shit. Patrick is paddling about in shit. And Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the fucking stuff. I mean, it's not sophisticated, but what a metaphor. We are sleepwalking our way into oppression, and the news isn't saying anything. We're not saying anything.
Says who? Alan fucking James.
What are all those scientists working on at Grentham Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrave? Andy, your turn. Make yourself fucking useful. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
Oh, well, there's other forms of identification that we will accept.
For how long?
We're just here to help.
Then why do you need these? Not really help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help you. You eat these cards with my notes on it, and you'll probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact?
What? I don't understand.
Do you want my help, Andy?
Yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it.
What?
Eat the fucking news, Andy, or I'll force it down your fucking throat.
Jeremy, stop.
Go on.
Really?
Eat it. Eat it, you fucking bully.
Jeremy, stop. He will kill you. Please, don't make me watch that.
Of course. You're right. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can go now. You too, Jenny. Fuck off over there. And nearly done. All cameras on me. This new regime of ours is so seductive. I understand that. But before we all hand off our freedoms, should we ask to whom we're handing them over? Don't you want to know what's being done in your name? How many people were transitioned last month? A record high. Again, if you care. Shouldn't someone ask Advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supplies we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of whose shit is this? There's a cat backstage dressed as a fucking goalie, for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves. Anyway, That's why I arranged for you to see that broadcast from the last break. I didn't know it was going to be him, but I guess that just about sums it up. We are all up Ship Creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ, it's all so fucking pointless. I was going to quit tonight. Take a holiday. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Maybe try having a relationship. I hear they're nice. Never tried. I loved them. And now, well...
God, Jeremy, don't!
I've tried my best to be honest with you, but this just isn't the news anymore. And I'm sorry. I've lost this fight.
Alex, think of the consequences.
I've let you down.
Please, we can't show this. Cut to the ads.
My name's Jeremy
Now!
Donaldson.
Do it now!
If you can.
Do it now!
Somehow. And I envy you if you can. Have a peaceful night.
Jeremy!
This summer, your little ones deserve a treat. Ferris wheel. Carousel. Roller coaster.
It's Bozeman here. Hope all's well with the family. Just a heads up, we're expecting those troublemakers at Disrupt to attempt to hack the channel during the broadcast, so keep an eye on the interference screen and stay out of the orange. Let's keep the news on the air. It's important, now more than ever.
Where you turn politicians into humans. Just don't get drawn into talking about the war, politics in general.
They do know this is the news, don't they?
You didn't hear
8:30
this from
p.m.
me,
it's
but-
over to Patrick Bannon for all the day's sports board highlights, including all the tabletop action. from the
Apparently, there's a
semi-finals
crew
of
at Team
Pro
HQ
Amateur
right now.
Sports Board, the
I think she's giving a
Sports
speech or something
Sports Board
tonight.
game.
They'll get it
At
on the late
9,
news.
it's our nightly
Oh, great. So they get the
walk.
brains and we get the performing monkey.
Followed at 9:25 by our unsettling play,
Sometimes you sound just like him, you know.
which tells the cautionary